Hello, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I don't know, we're here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Paul Tranny here, next to the awesome Kelly Thompson.
Hello.
We're going to get into your stuff, but first we're going to dive into what we have going on for the day. But welcome, everybody. King Royale and Helen, that is. Cool. Tim's in the house. Awesome. So yeah, we have a fun day. Basically, waiting for us. Going to be super cool. Essentially, we have a full day of graphic design and packaging and branding. It's really all the fun stuff, which I think is cool, over the next 3 days. Yes. So we have Kelly for 2 hours, and then we have some other amazing guests every 2 hours. So you guys should just hang out with us all day long, quite frankly, because that will be like super fun. And yeah, so essentially how it's going to start is we're going to have Kelly with us. Then we're going to have some folks from Farm Design from 11 to 1. Okay, this is Pacific time, which is awesome. Aaron and Christine. Anna Rising up after that. So again, graphic design oriented stuff. Steve Wolf as well. It's going to be fantastic. A fellow, I don't know, would you say Austinite. Fellow Austinite.
Yep. You got it.
So very cool. I don't know if you can pull up your site since I'm kind of...
Oh yeah, you're down. Escape.
Oh, here we go. Let's just go back. Boom. All right, I got
Nice
it right here.
one.
Fantastic. All right, I want to take a look at your stuff because I'm just going to be your hype man.
Yes,
right?
I need
so you
one
guys
of you.
interested in this? Murat and Patricia. Super cool stuff going on here. So you can just go to ktom.us. We could, of course, put that in the chat, or just Google Kelly Thompson is awesome, and then you will show up,
Nice.
Right? Because I
Correct.
think you do have a lot of cool stuff going on here.
Thank you.
It's always tricky when you are looking at your own site with your own portfolio, because I'm sure something is sticking out. You're like, yeah, I gotta need to change that, right? There's like, I don't know a designer that's satisfied with their portfolio
Right?
or their site.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, because I think when somebody's site's out of date, that's like a good thing, because it's like, hey, you're working.
Exactly.
Quite frankly.
Yes.
That's
yes,
my
yes,
opinion.
Yes.
But anyways, this is shout out to your work. Obviously, lots of cool branding. Any of these projects like interest you? I see all sorts of cool ones. I know for me, this first
Yeah,
image,
I like to see
front
what
and
people
center.
would click on. So you drive and I'll
Yeah.
talk.
This is exactly where I'd go right here, just because I like the photography. And hopefully we'll talk about this, like even this distressed type. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm kind of interested, you know, is it a font? Is it like hand lettering, or is it a manipulated font? Same thing for a lot of this stuff.
Cool.
You know, is this kind of interesting to go over? Like, even for the next 3 days, how did you pick the color palette? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah,
for
no,
these
for sure. It's all intentional. So
yeah. So anyways, what's up, Anita? Where are you guys? I'm curious as to where everybody is from.
Ghana.
Out there in the chat bot, out in the world. I see somebody from Ghana, which is awesome. Romania in the house. So let us know where you guys are from. Maybe you need some of this. Maybe you need some coffee this morning, depending.
yes.
It's 9 a.m. here. But I love this.
Yeah. What else would you click on?
I would click on this for sure. You know,
yeah.
and dive into it. I think we can talk about this stuff all day long. I think yellow can be kind of tricky,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Because you want it to stand out, and if you want it to stand out on white, do you add black? Because then it gets muddy,
Right.
and it's a whole thing.
Right. It is a tricky one, but cascara it's tea made from coffee leaves, and so I don't know, yellow. I'm in a yellow phase also. I go through color phases, and I'm back in the sunny Austin, so everything's yellow right now, and that's the latest one. But it's just super energetic. It's a clean caffeine, and so that's why I picked the yellow in this case. But I just chose to do the yellow, but obviously if you scroll down, there's, you know, more of the colors. But lemon ginger, also yellow for the lemon ginger flavor cue. So
Yeah, so this is so interesting, and like a little bit of a gradient, which we could talk about that as well. Like
we
subtle
went back and
gradient.
forth.
There's a fine line between horrible gradient and like a good gradient and a bad gradient. And it's all about
it's a love hate with the gradient. You know, it's like every 3 years it shifts. I think it's like flat shadow, flat shadow.
Oh, so
But I
that's
just
so cool.
hang in the middle.
No, I love it.
Egypt, hello.
Saudi Arabia, awesome.
God.
Peter, what's up from Egypt? Yeah. India, Sajram. Awesome. Good to see you guys here. Very cool. California. Of course, you're just waking up for the day. Hello from California. I saw somebody said Denver because I'm from Denver. So that's cool.
Shout out
to my hometown. So yeah, we're going to dive into this. Argentina. Let's dive. Ooh, wait. Ooh, you know what? This is the best compliment. Is somebody paused Spider-Man 3 to watch this? So that's awesome.
Respect.
We're touched. So this might be related to the project we're dealing with.
Yeah. So Paleonola was somebody that needed a rebrand, I think maybe about 3 years ago. And they've done really well. And they just acquired Caveman cookies. So it's paleo product. It's granola that has no grain. It's just seeds and dried fruit, really yummy stuff. You can kind of scroll through and get a sense of what the product is. So I could pull up the before and after of Paleonola. That might be interesting.
It would be interesting because it kind of sets the tone for what's going to be happening for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I can pull that up, or you can pull it up.
And again, limits. I mean, it looks like it's like a limited color palette. Like per product has the brown and then has something specific to the specific, specific flavor, I guess.
Right. With spot printing, the less colors, the better. And I'm all about two-tone. And so you don't have to do CMYK, and then it pops, and it's really nice.
See, I like it.
Paleo.
London in the house. Niha from, India, Morocco. I love Morocco. Vancouver.
It's on
I think
the
I saw
list.
Edmonton. I've been to Edmonton. Haven't been to Vancouver,
here's
though.
the old ones when it's ready.
Ooh.
But, yeah.
So do you have some of the... do you have some of their... Okay, good. That's their old brand. I'm switching to your screen.
Yeah, so this is their old brand just to kind of... So what I'll be doing today is doing a rebrand of Caveman cookies that currently exist and kind of bringing them up to speed now that Paleonola has acquired them and just making them a little more modern. So essentially what I did for Paleonola, I'll be doing for Caveman today.
Okay.
So this is kind of where Paleonola's at, the tired brown craft, which was really successful at the time. Everybody started doing it. It just got a little tired. So we went from this, to this, and
it's much more fresh when we look at this new one. And while this is loading, by the way, we're going to have contests today, guys. A couple things going on. You can share your portfolio with us. There's a button in the interface. Hopefully you're on adobelive.com. And then also we have contests. We encourage you to check out Project Felix, which just released a beta yesterday, beta 3, which is super cool. So we'll be showing that off. So yeah, you can click in the interface, but I'll be talking about that later as well.
Cool. So yeah, essentially just making Paleonola a little bit more bright, interesting, and highlighting grain-free because it was kind of fading into the back. So yeah, they're a great company, really yummy product. My favorite is Pina Colada.
Pina Colada.
Dry. It has dried apples and coconut shreds. It's super delicious.
That does sound good.
Yeah, just something playful, fun, bright. You get the idea.
Where are they based out of?
Providence. I'm actually going to go to the factory, and I'm doing a big month-long road trip after this, and I'm stopping there to finally see the people and get lots of granola.
Oh, wow.
And cookies.
And what's
Well, now that they have the Caveman cookies, they're making them in-house, and so I'm excited to kind of see it all come together.
Oh, so yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Exactly.
So keep an eye out for Kelly on a road trip if you're in the,
follow along.
northeast.
Exactly.
U.S. into Canada. Do you dip into Canada a little bit?
I do Canada, Toronto, Montreal, kind of all of it.
And we saw that. I don't know if anybody's from Toronto here.
We need recommendations.
But we saw Vancouver and Edmonton. Thailand in the house. Boy, what time is it in Thailand?
Oh, shoot.
Panu, thank you for joining us. That's awesome.
I named my child Phoenix.
Yeah, Felix is not an actual person. It's actually a Project Felix. Maybe it is also a person. I'm sure people are named Felix, but
Felix the cat?
It's not named after a specific person. But if you want to...
Yeah, it's a mathematician or a scientist
Ooh.
who work on 3D. I'm looking for the name.
Cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a tribute to a scientist.
And there you have it. A tribute to someone a lot smarter than me, at least, I know, which is not that hard.
All right, should I dive in?
Yeah, what do you got going on
Okay,
here?
so I guess I should pull up Caveman to give people a sense of where we're at currently. So Caveman cookies, paleo cookies with really unique flavors. Mayan, North Pole, New World. We've got pumpkin maple cranberry, you know, all kinds of interesting things. So I got all their assets recently, and this is an example of one of the boxes that they come in. And, you know, I did a big questionnaire to kind of see what the client was liking, what they're not liking, what they wanted to keep in terms of brand equity, what they think consumers have the most significance with, like carry the most significance with when they see this on shelf. Because with a brand refresh, I think it's really important to change it and make it look fresh, but also familiar. You don't want to lose all the people who've been buying the product who are like, wait, what? My favorite cookie box changed, you know? Something that they're like, oh, this is fun. I still like it, but it's still, I have that resonance with the brand. So in thinking about it, I kind of pulled the elements out and distilled them down into the little pieces that exist. And then, you know, there's some little fun t-shirt designs that they did and just little pieces here and there.
And if you don't mind me saying, like, even this looks good. The fact that it's just put on white.
Right.
You know?
It's a lot with the earmuffs and the... Yeah.
It's a lot going on. But here it's like, oh, I still connect to the old brand, but it feels just a lot easier on the eyes.
Right?
Kinda.
It's weird just pulling out the elements. You can see them clearly and you're like, okay, I see where I'm going to go.
What if that's all you did?
Right? I'm
the
like,
update
file
is
print.
Copy, paste, print, time
Here's
to get
the
paid.
invoice. Good idea.
Oh, we're onto something.
I would never.
Cookies.
Yeah. So in looking at all that and talking to the client a little bit about what he wanted to retain and where we want to go, I made a mood board and I'll also some sketches in a moment, but I can just kind of walk through why I pulled what I did and the intentionality behind it. So a mood board, you know, look and feel. It's just found elements. Nothing I created here. It's just palette, texture. So I'll dive in. Basically, this one I like the texture. I mean, I like how it's a geometric shape, but it has a soft texture. And the photography to illustration ratio is interesting. I don't know if I'll use photography, but I like how it doesn't feel like a splat of a vector and then a splat of a photo, which you see all the time. Like, I mean, no offense.
And even on that note, taking into consideration the actual packaging, do you have a window?
Yeah, that was part of the question. So I think something that was really successful about Paleo Nola is the mountain window. And that's a huge conversation. Do you show the product or do you not? Because sometimes the product, when it's getting shipped all over, it doesn't look awesome, and depending on what it is. So we're actually in conversations about the format. Do we want to do a tube? Do we want to do a box that makes it feel a little more high-end? Do we want to keep like a gift box type thing versus this kind of box? And yeah.
Oh, it's a little... Is that okay still?
Yeah, it was just moving around on this, but I can do it. Oh, sorry.
There's one in the other room, a mouse pad or something. So, and before you move on, they're like, hey, do you... Melissa's asking if you work solo.
Yes,
freelance.
I do. I'm full-time, my own thing, out of my house in Austin. It's a lot of fun.
How long you been doing that?
4 years. Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, shout out to anybody who's doing freelance full time.
Seriously.
That's like a whole other animal.
Yeah, it is. It's a good one though.
You're the boss, you're the project manager, right? And the designer. Yeah. And how you do each role is awesome, impressive.
It's fun. I like it. Autonomy is key.
And then you're like, hey, I wanna cruise around the upper northwest.
Right? You can just go on a month road trip and send some emails.
Kazakhstan in the house. Oh, Montreal, you actually will be stopping. I'm sorry, I'm like, hey, you're going to be stopping down in Montreal. I was like, Ali Riza is like, hey.
Yeah, no.
Come see me.
Hey, I would love to meet up with anybody.
I don't mean to give away every place you're going.
I'm super open, love to meet people, so please follow me and meet up. I'm down.
Omar in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Right on. Caveman cookies. This is good.
Okay, cool. So, do you want me to walk through each thing?
Yeah, and then I might ask you some random questions that they're asking.
Perfect.
But I love the mood board you have going on
Yep.
here. Okay.
Yeah, and I found this little guy, and I love that his Tarzan suit looked like a cookie, and so that was right.
Slow clap.
I was like, oh.
I did not see that.
I mean,
and
because I was thinking about patterns for each one, because I asked the client, do you like the motif of changing flavor to flavor, like how his outfit changes? Because I didn't love that. And he was like, I said, are you open to new ways to show flavor? And he said, yes. So I was obviously thinking patterns. And so I thought, ooh, we could do some hieroglyphic geometric patterns, because it kind of mimics cookie shapes and sprinkles and seeds and nuts. And then I saw this little guy, and I thought, ooh, that spurred a lot of sketches, which I'll go into. Same kind of thing with just these textures over here. I liked the kind of hieroglyphic caveman vibe, but also kind of speaking to the ingredients of the cookies and texture. Same kind of thing. I mean, they're all a little similar. I like the simple of this, which I always like to include something simple in my mood board to kind of go back to and just try it on and not get too carried away with texture, because I can. Same. I obviously I like hand-drawn text and texture, but I think, again, not going overboard with the hand-drawn is important. I liked how they stacked and kind of nestled the letters in. I think I want to do an exploration of the logo there. Also love this little guy, how he's like a geometric caveman. So there's ideas here, and then
it looks very, I don't know, like yoga-ish,
right?
Or meditation or something.
I like that idea. It's like redoing the caveman, not to be some like meathead, but maybe more enlightened caveman, because he's healthy.
Yeah,
I like that.
We're on to something.
Okay,
Notes.
Collaboration. Okay, cool. And then this little guy, it's not the style I like, but this icon reminded me of a beard in a cookie. I thought, ooh, we could make his beard be the cookie. I sketched it. So
I like how subtle, like you're not going to get it initially, but then it hits you that, oh, that's a cookie.
Right, and I would tweak it. But so when I find mood board things, it's just I scroll through sites and I just have an ongoing inspiration folder, and I just scroll through. I just keep everything in there. When I'm starting a new project, something different will spark me from the project, and I'll throw it in, and like that. You know, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily pull this for the style, but it sparked a nice icon idea. And then with these, again, back to the two-tone color, I think something that's not working for the brand is all the colors. There's kind of no contrast, nothing pops, nothing comes forward or back, and so I want to tone it down with the palette and help get some depth going. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
And,
I mean, because it's almost like it's too much, because it's like sort of multiple tones, and then a lot of the rough, you know, hand-drawn style. A lot of it. So
exactly.
Which,
yeah, we'll clean it up. But then also I thought maybe we do a little landscape to kind of tie into that the ingredients are from nature. That was something really important for Paleo Nola, is like all ingredients are from nature, nothing weird, nothing you can't pronounce. And so I always think showing some nature scene when it's true to the product is valuable, but again, not getting too like farmy, but just, you know, thinking about it, something in the background could be interesting.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then after I do a mood board, I usually just dive into the logo concept. Yeah,
you just kind of start playing with things and see where it ends up, and some good, maybe some things that don't work.
Oh yeah, I could show some of my sketches. That's another thing I do.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. So let's check out some of these real fast. Oh, thank you.
Very professional.
So we're talking.
I mean, I just do it really rough, but it helps. So, like the cookie beard, right? What if his face was, or his beard was a cookie, and his face kind of, because instead of putting it in his mouth, I like that. And then kind of making the C a cookie with a piece out of it for Caveman, and having a nice mark with just the C. But then I started thinking about all the layouts. So maybe the cookies coming in up from the top, and then we have all the ingredients. So with packaging, such a small shelf, there's three things. It's like logo, ingredient, or / yum factor, and then product. So that's kind of the three things I always think about, and it's about...
In that order?
Well, it's just these are the levers you have, and so you can dial them up, dial them down, and so I like, it's amazing if you just dial one up, dial one back, what happens to the package. So obviously this is the cookie quite dialed up, and then what if the logo's in the center, what if the cookie's in the center, and you know, we have a scene going on in the background, or what if there's some color banding. I mean, it's these are obviously extremely basic, but it's crazy just adding color banding and what it can add.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, just to give people a little
this is perfect.
idea.
'Cause
Yeah,
I think
super simple.
Even as a designer, like you get it too much into the details of something, and here you're seeing it as a whole unit. How's it all going to tie together? What's the read orders? Like
hierarchy is king.
Yeah, exactly. That's huge.
And people forget, and so I find these extremely helpful little exercises to just dial up and experiment with hierarchy
And
without thinking like, what does this look like, and geeking out on the details.
Yeah, so that's typically how you'll start, is maybe do some sketches.
Yeah, so I look at mood boards and I have cookies and Caveman or whatever the imagery is in my head, and then I just kind of start drawing.
We get this a lot, like Anita's asking, what's the name of the Yum font? And this is from
a
minute ago, but like a lot of times...
For sure. This was it's called the Rifleman.
Ooh, it is a font.
Yeah.
The Rifleman.
The Rifleman. Yeah, so obviously this was already picked, but I do like it. It has a lot of character, but it's still legible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
Good.
Yeah, any
Good
other
eye.
questions? Yeah.
Anita, that's awesome. Somebody also asked, how did you even land this client? How do you get these bigger clients to the point where you're seeing your stuff on shelves, which is super exciting.
It is exciting. So Paleo Noah found me through Google.
What?
Yeah, a lot of clients do. I feel really lucky in that I worked for Theo Chocolate for a long time in-house, and that's kind of, I learned the packaging world and Whole Foods and just the circuit with grocery and designing for on shelf, and so I have a lot of love and respect for my Theo time, and shout out to Theo Chocolate if you haven't heard of them. They're the best.
Theo Chocolate.
Yeah, great people. And so I learned a lot there, and they just kind of put me on the map for packaging. And so once I did that, I just started getting inquiries all the time. That's
so cool, because working for a company full time, that's where you learn. That's where maybe you're making mistakes, but you're kind of doing it on somebody else's dime. That's a crucial, super important time.
Yeah.
This is how an agency works, right? Or a company works in dealing with packaging.
Well, it's cool because I come from a branding firm, so I started there and I worked on tons of brands, and so that kind of taught me how to run a business, how to run branding firm. But then I went in-house, and that gave me a whole nother skill set for operations for a company and thinking about what they need. Because when you're in a branding firm, you're just like, here's a pretty design, bye. Like, good luck working it out. And you don't really get a full understanding of what is needed to make operations run on a daily basis from A to Z,
Yeah.
So that Theo was extremely helpful in that way to really learn what it takes and what the processes are on getting on shelf and sell sheets and websites and all that stuff. Yeah. So it was the kind of a double whammy, and double combo that.
Yeah, what you're saying from both sides, because as a company, you hire out this agency, and you've been on the agency side, and then you've been on the internal side, and now you're on the freelance side. So the agency's calling you up, or the company is calling you up as a founder through Google.
Yep.
Get your
SEO,
stuff out
y'all.
there. SEO.
I don't even know how to do SEO, but
SEO,
just save your images with your keywords. It worked for me, I think.
Okay, so William wants the caveman to be cuddleable, if that's a word.
You must make cuddles of this caveman. I like it. I mean, the beard's a good start, right?
Yeah.
Cookies. I like this rough.
Yeah, Bada Bing's right. I guess you had this idea sitting alone in the Marriott.
Oh, I know.
Hotel.
I was like, my Marriott, very professional sketchbook.
Hey, man.
I wasn't ready to tap into my new book yet. It's for the road trip. I thought I'd keep it on the Marriott stationery.
All right. Let's get to work, huh?
Okay. So I'm going to start with the logo letters and just kind of pull them out. See what we have going.
Yeah, you, and in terms of your mood board, you just pulled that down from Google, anywhere and everywhere. Yeah,
so like I said, I have this folder that whenever I'm looking at blogs or whatever, I see something I like for whatever reason, I can show you. I dump it in here. It's in Dropbox. And it's called my inspiration folder, right? And I have it's kind of separated from boxes, brands, like when a brand does a really good job of showcasing it throughout web, like the whole gamut, or just clever things, like who even knows, but for whatever reason I pull it in there. But I have a whole packaging folder, and just to give people a sense of what's in there, I mean, I don't know, I just pull randomly And it's funny because they speak to you at different times. Like sometimes I'm like, why did I pull that? But then for another project, I'm like, yes, that's exactly kind of the vibe I'm looking for. But yeah, that's kind of what I have, and things to make, photography styles. I mean, people are doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. It's fun. It's fun just kind of going through and taking a peek at your hard drive, to be honest. Like, this is how other people work.
I know. I
These
think
all your
process
folders.
is so interesting because you always just see the final product and you're like, but why and how? Tell me. You know, so.
Are you using Pinterest? Is there a reason that you use this?
I am not a Pinterest person because it's slow to load, and I don't like I just like images. I like to go through really fast, rapid fire, and then I don't like all the links, and I don't like things to be online. I like them in folders so I can place and put them in my artboards really easily. You can do it with Pinterest. It's just, I've tried to get into Pinterest because it's probably better, but I can just be old school.
It doesn't even matter, like better or worse, and there's hardly any, like, if the client's happy, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no right, or even as you're working in Illustrator, people be like, is it a right or a wrong way? At the end of the day, it's like, is the client happy, and can you scale it up to the appropriate, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I know Pinterest for me just gets a little
what's your
too
take
much.
on it?
I have too much in there, and I can't elevate this piece that I put in the inspiration section to the top. You know what I'm saying? I almost want to rate them.
Yeah, and I don't like that you can't crop in, so sometimes it's like this long image, and I just want one little part of it, and I don't want to pin the whole thing, and it throws off the whole mood. So with the mood board, you can just, like, I've cropped into so many things, and I just want the one icon or, like, one thing, and that's another thing I don't like. If you could Pinterest, crop it.
Crop it.
Learn how to crop it, and then...
Crop it like a top.
That's right. Okay, so I'm doing like the mood board where I want like a nestled version, something like this. So sometimes I'll grab it, like the different styles that I want, and just paste them in as inspo, you know. So it's like, oh, is Caveman one word? Could we do it 2 words? I don't know.
Yeah, like how is that? Type lockup, as
like,
they say.
what if we took out the middle of the A's? Kind of cool. It looks like chocolate chip cookies. Yummy. Right?
I like it. And these are, obviously, like,
that's kind of cool. Like, then it's like Caveman, but then is it too much focus on the man? What do you think about keeping the spot in the A, the negative space?
Yeah, thoughts out there, world?
Object.
Oh, Paulina. Hello, Paulina. You know what I do? I really like the inspiration that you took from that your mood board had some of the letters larger, some smaller, but it all fit together nice and neat.
We can't do that.
That's a good question, like in terms of like a read.
Right?
I like the idea of removing that. I think that, you know what that does is that honestly simplifies it for me.
Does it?
There's less detail that I have to sweat. And the O's could be cookies. Right. And that's what you're tempted to do. So since we're redesigning this cookie brand, anytime you see a circle, like, that's a cookie.
I know, right?
Oh, there's his belly's kind of round. That's a cookie. You know, you just start thinking everything's cookies. I don't know.
I mean, I love cookies anyway.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
the
already
yum.
Seeing them.
I like the yum you, like exactly like you're doing. Good job. I mean,
So I'm wondering what if I did cookies in a different typeface and made Caveman. Like, let's just see. Always like, oh man, I forgot I haven't loaded my typefaces on here.
Oh.
Shoot. Oh, that's bad.
We can.
I have them in my Dropbox, but sorry, everybody.
If you wanna do that, I'm gonna switch over real fast
over.
For guys, I just launched Illustrator, so this is also a good place to start. Obviously, I can go on like Behance. And by the way, if you guys have a portfolio, hopefully you're on adobelive.com. Hit that little portfolio button. You could send us your portfolio, and at times we'll jump out and just kind of check out your stuff. Show us your stuff, kind of is the idea. But another place to look and kind of get you started is if you go to File, New. This is in Illustrator CC. There's already like elements that you could start to play with through these templates that are given for free. So I'm in Illustrator, File, New, and I'm in the Art section, but I can also go into Print, and even in here, since we're working on logos, there's this logo kit you could see right here. Boom. So this is kind of what I'll kind of look at, and I think this is a great place to kind of just get some ideas. So here's like even this elegant logo kit I could kind of at least start with as I start to dive into this particular project. So, oh, this is controversial. Anton is like, what's your font go-to place?
Oh, perfect segue.
I don't know,
and,
but is it Typekit?
I do love. I love how the new type kit is integrating, and it's so easy, and it just updates.
I love it.
And it's the best. No,
Yeah.
Truly, it's not a plug. Like,
Oh no! Well,
really
I mean,
love it.
even in loading in this file, like it would have said, "Hey, you need these fonts. Here's all the fonts from Typekit." Brrr,
Yeah,
done.
it's awesome.
I don't freaking have to hunt down.
I know.
you
Or like I wish that sometimes you could have the hard files, just sometimes, but in general.
And they
I
do
love it.
exist for what it's worth.
Right, they do
We're not
exist.
going to tell you where they are, but
But that's
you
a good
can
point.
figure it out.
So I actually just redid my hard drive for this big month-long road trip, and I haven't installed all my fonts. So what I'm gonna do, another thing I do is my fonts, right? You can go, I've logged in, and you can make albums for whoever your clients are. But so I'm gonna go to the Paleo Nola one I made back in the day and just see what I have and see if it sparks anything. Oh, I'm not signed in. Okay.
oh yeah.
So that's something I do when I just want to get a sense of a word and how it looks in a different style. And so I don't want to go through all the typefaces. What's happening? Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to type in cookie, and you can kind of see what things you're looking like. And you're like, okay, I don't know why I saved that or why I did. This one's kind of cool, like the chunky letters. I like how skinny this one is. So sometimes what I'll do, I'll just... Oh, shoot.
Oh, you'll just try to grab that graphic?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Cool.
You know, because I don't know if I want to buy it yet, and... That one's kind of cute with the serifs, but what is happening? Download.
Oh, I was trying to download the HTML for some reason.
No, I know. Okay. That one's kind of cute.
I kind of like the chunks taken out of that one. It's
This
kind
one?
of, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, right? It's Cookie Monster-y. But I'm kind of wanting one. Oh, this is kind of cute. Mrs. Lollipop. I'm kind of wanting one that contrasts Caveman. Something clean, I think. I'm not sure. But this is a great resource for anything. And obviously it doesn't have to be in that file. So let's just say mono weight.
All mono weight fonts.
Mm-hmm. But not really. I don't know why it's searching. But anyway, so
and I'll show you the Typekit equivalent.
Oh yeah.
If you want to start organizing that again, just
oh
kind of
yeah,
mixing
show
it
me.
up. Boop. So again, I did the same thing as just typed in cookies, and I personally think fonts need to go the way of photos and all those stock side like Adobe stock.
Yeah, tell me.
It's not at some point. We're making 2 trillion images a year as a site or something ridiculous.
Right.
It's going to be finding the right picture and finding the right font over having more. It's getting that all
versus like
scaled
creating
down.
it from scratch. You mean
Versus creating it from scratch, but at some point.
unintended scratch cookies. Sorry,
I
had
like
to.
it.
Had to.
We'll be making all the eating cookie jokes we can.
We apologize
today.
for our horrible
Ingredients.
puns.
Let's talk about the ingredients of the logo.
Sorry, yeah. Back to what you were saying.
But right in here, like if I wanted a slab serif, I typed in cookies right here, and then I can go by headings, and then I like the ability to give me a font that has sort of multiple weights is what I can do. So that's kind of what I'd kind of refine it down to, and hopefully pick something interesting like cookies, this FF Prater, and obviously I can add it to my kit, or I can sync or show my synced fonts. But that's the short of it. It's super easy.
That's cool.
These are like the font geniuses at Adobe, by the way, Typekit. Like these guys, this is like hugely important. Like we don't just let anybody who makes a font throw it into Typekit. It's like all these foundries, and not that anybody can't, but you know what I'm saying?
Right,
it's
right,
like,
right.
Hey, they have this level of quality, which I appreciate.
For sure.
You know, and a way of sorting through, which is what I was showing on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side there.
So, oh yeah, another thing. I just iterate and make a big mess, so I hope y'all are cool with that. So I thought, I don't know, I like the way this is looking, but Caveman cookies under it's looking kind of small, so what if I put a little icon there? I'm just going to do some exploring. Maybe we'll draw a new cookie, because I don't know if I love this one.
That one needs more chips.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. I want
more
like
chocolate.
I would just want mostly chocolate, and then I want the dough added.
Yeah,
I want
the
the
same.
inverse. I want an inverted cookie.
Yeah, what we should.
Is that like a thing? It should be.
I'm sure it is. Like, how do we feel about all this brown? What's happening?
So you're aligning it by eye. Do you ever use the align tool?
Oh, oh man! If my coworker, it's Maddie.
Okay. Maddie.
I was like, if you should ask my coworkers, because they give me crap about that all the time, and then lo and behold, it was a coworker.
We see you, Maddie, staging a question. So what's your point, Maddie?
Oh
what are you
my
getting
gosh, that's so funny.
But I think that's a good point. Like, right now we're just comping things out, so no, it's not going to be aligned that great.
Yeah, to
but
speak
even
to
visually,
that.
Go ahead.
Well, to speak to that, I mean, I'm all about aligning things at the end. Obviously, it's hand drawn, so if it were super clean, you wouldn't want to align. But I eyeball things probably until a little too late in the game, as Maddie points out.
Does Maddie have a pretty keen eye?
Oh, Maddie's got her. Yeah.
Okay, because she seems like that type of person.
To curse, yeah. Oh no, she's on it with the details. She comes up after my files and aligns everything. And I'm like, Maddie,
really?
help me. Yeah, she's awesome.
So she's all. Do you ever use the align tool? Oh, you. And Paulina, I know you. What did you say? You were going to start a diet or something. These are paleo. I mean, they're probably as good as a cookie can get as far as being a cookie. Not that we're not selling Caveman cookies.
Right.
We have no stake in the company.
Nothing.
But you can't pick a more fun brand. I think it's super fun.
Right? Yeah, I haven't tried them yet. I'm looking forward to trying them in the factory. And he's revamping. I'm just going to draw some new ones. He's revamping the recipes too. To take his own spin on it, because he's really good at that. So
I like it.
I'm excited. All right.
So I want to just take 2 seconds to talk about the contest that's going on.
Yeah, please do. Good.
What?
Give me a breather.
Yeah. So basically, we have a contest, and we're encouraging you guys to download Project Felix, right, and create something with Project Felix. Okay. And if you're on AdobeLive.com, hopefully you are. If not, go there. Click on the lower right. Should be a button for the contest. And essentially, you're making something with Project Felix. Keep in mind, you don't have to know how to do 3D modeling. It's taking a photo, hopefully that you own, right, that you have the rights to share, dropping it in, say, in the background, comping together a scene with, say, a 3D model. And I can go through that whole process of how to do that. But Project Felix is, and then all you need to do, by the way, as it will say if you click on that button, is essentially share that on social media. Here, let me just go back over. So here's Project Felix, by the way. Literally, like, you know, make a new file. This is what you end up with. Right over here, it has all the elements. So like I said, you don't really have to make everything from scratch. It's putting all these elements together in a creative way just to get started. And then you will tag it with the hashtag #MakeItAnExperience. But I'll just drop this in. Boom, right? Load it in. Oh, by the way, this is the fancy new dark gray interface, by the way, which I love. I've been waiting for this. It's the little things that matter to me, you know. Dropping in this wireless speaker. Let's put him right on the table right there. Sure enough, there he is. Yes, I can resize him, you know, all that good stuff. Shrink him down. Apply a texture to him so I can easily, say, sample just his helmet. And, all of him, and apply it to all of him. But I can also sample certain areas and apply certain materials to him.
I want to watch, but I want to design.
Yeah, you're busy working.
Okay.
You can't. You just get down to work.
All
Clean
right.
silver. Let's drop on a clean silver, for maybe his body or whatever the case may be. But basically doing that customization, making sure the light source comes from, say, the background, is of course something we want to do as well. So create a light from an image. That's all you have to do. So I can make it match just by clicking right there. Ooh, indoors. Did you see that? It even asked me, does the light come from the outdoors or indoors? And I said indoors. Still needs a little bit of work. I'll just apply this a couple more places. I want to see more metallic in here, so that's why I'm dropping in more elements. And then we see this little render up in the upper right, but I can also take a look at the actual preview. You guys get the idea. Cool. That's Project Felix. It's fun to play with. I can manipulate it all day long. I love getting involved in like a beta product, like at the ground level, because it's not complex. Like if you ever I love Cinema 4D.
We need feedback.
And we need feedback as well. So not only is it awesome to, start out at the ground level when it's not too overwhelming, but we want your guys. It's made for designers. It's not made for engineers. That's the fun part. It's 3D for designers, which is awesome.
All right, making a cookie.
Jeanette Matthews in the house, by the way. She's on the Project Felix team. So, shout out. Good to see you. Good to see you here. She's the
Maybe
Felix guru.
since I'm in the Adobe headquarters, y'all can tell me why it strokes a different color when it's always the same color. So my workaround is to expand the stroke, and then, it drives me nuts. So
I would have to test that out.
Ask the team.
I asked the team, hey,
Illustrator. I'm gonna make a list of questions now that I'm here. I'm like,
by all
Adobe,
means,
why?
do. That's what we're talking. Getting feedback, just like with Felix and Illustrator.
Cool.
Ooh, I like the lockup.
Right? Yeah. What are we thinking? So, do we miss the little chocolate chips? Yeah, I think we do when it's reversed out, because then it looks white. It ain't macadamia nut. Okay, I'll just draw some in.
Or white chocolate. Nobody wants that.
Right?
Do they?
I don't think so.
Kyle says that you need a cave in the logo.
A cave?
Sure. A cave.
That's not doesn't really pump up the yum factor for me. Caves, maybe a cookie.
I like the idea. I keep on going back to the Zen caveman.
That is cool. I'll work on a little hymn in a minute.
Yeah. And that,
I like that
will take more time, but it totally makes it contemporary, saying, hey, eating our cookies isn't going to make you like this big caveman.
Right.
Get you in touch with the inner you.
Oh, yeah. So another thing in terms of where this brand wants to go is they do like the playful element for kids. Or they like the playful element and want to appeal to kids because a lot of kids want cookies and the moms want healthier options. And dads. Right? So they don't want to nix all of the playfulness. So I think having some little yogi guy would be fun.
And
like this guy's fun, but he needs to be updated.
You brought up a super interesting point.
Oh, do tell.
No, it's the cookies are for children, but really your audience is the parents.
Right. And they want something that the kid will relate to and ask for it, but then the mom will be like, wait, it says...
Like, who's really doing
what's
the
in
purchasing?
this? Oh, I can pronounce everything. Yay, buying. Yeah.
And that's a huge trend I've noticed that's happening with packaging is the simple branding of elements.
And just no confusion, like this is what's in it, super
made
transparent.
Of, it's like the 5 ice cream, for instance, or
right.
whatever it's called, or the RX bars that 3 egg whites,
those
2
are
dates.
Cool. I really like that packaging.
And that's kind of what we kind of want to do here, because even your other examples in your mood board had this clean look, and had a lot of them had like a fresh palette. It was like
totally
super clean.
All right, did you find out why the paths are doing that?
I got homework. I gotta get to work. I gotta do this.
Kidding.
I will.
No, put it on the list.
I first of all need to.
How do we make crumbs,
it?
you guys? How do we make crumbs? Just experimenting. Okay, let's try the beard one now. Making the beard cookie sketch. Okay, because basically what we think is important is the caveman. So let's do a version with him. So what I do is just do a bunch of different logos and, you know, see how they're looking, but then what?
Oh, nothing. I feel bad because, like, everybody's getting hungry. Like, Paulina's getting hungry for cookies.
That's good.
Look, they're sitting right here. And look, unopened package. Look at how good we're doing today. We can't be eating all the products. All of our... I'm like, it's research. We just down cookies.
Right?
Is that part of the prep for this?
Oh, man. After my Theo chocolate days, I had to learn to stop sampling everything. Thank goodness all my clients are getting more and more healthy and conscious, but I do a lot of sweets for sure, so I have my fill. So okay, I mean, this is a little cookie monster, right? Like in his mouth. What do we think about that? I think I do want to try his beard instead of his mouth.
Go with it.
Okay, let's pull our little inspirations.
Helen, you
this guy,
bring up a good point about
what Helen say.
The cookie kind of looks like, I mean, it's probably because of the color, but it kind of looks like a rock, which gives her a strong vibe. And I love just the way that she's thinking about this.
Right? Yeah, and caveman, meaning like the rock caves.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it. Okay, let's try a version of just him and his beard and the cookie. Let's see.
Perfect. And to say, like, we just talked about Project Felix and the contest going on, which is awesome. You know, and eventually you can get to the point like where we're actually mocking up this, you know, the caveman cookies in a bag that's sitting on a table that we could show the client what it looks like in an actual environment. So that's how it benefits the designer. Trust me, I want these too. Look, we haven't even opened up the Hello Pandas.
What do we have there? It's like
cookies filled with chocolate cream.
Oh, okay.
You see that? Delicious.
Let's separate out his little mouth.
And I'm going to be checking in about, you know, I'll give you guys some more time, but you could also submit your portfolio. Maybe you've worked on a related project, but anything that you want us to see, just go ahead and post that to the hashtag Adobe Live hashtag, and it's also in the interface in the lower right. We'd love to see what you guys are working on. It's not just about us, it's about you guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta get his nose ratio right. I keep looking at the sketch. Sometimes you do these little sketches and you like nail it on the sketch and you're like, how did I do that? I kind of like how these are brown inside. Kind of reminds me of chocolate chip cookies. I mean, just curious.
It does,
right?
yeah. Oh no.
Bringing in color, because I don't know how I feel about this orange, but we're staying with it just to focus on one thing. Okay, so if it's his beard, do we need to separate? Does he need a mouth? Where's his mouth? If so, what does it look like?
Okay. Oh, great question, Kyle. If you wanted to create a portfolio, I was talking about portfolio if you're Adobe Creative Cloud subscriber. I mean, I'll answer it.
Yeah.
Boom. Never mind. I don't even have to. Tim's on it.
I've been curious about that. Tell me about the My Portfolio thing.
So, I know you sometimes use Dribbble, which is kind of similar to Behance,
Yes.
but if you have a Behance portfolio, it's like super easy. So that's kind of the evolution. Where do you start? Maybe you start with a project on Behance that you could, you know, tag others with or whatever. But whatever projects you have on Behance can quickly become your own portfolio, as noted in the link myportfolio.com. So it's all your projects rolled into a fancy site with your own URL. So you can do lots of customization there. So it's kind of the fastest way, especially if you're a Behance user, to get a site up like ASAP.
I gotta check that out. All right, he's looking kind of cute. He's getting there. Got to figure out how I want to do the mouth.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you working any differently than you would at home?
I am not.
Okay.
I mean, I would have my big monitor at home. That,
And maybe not
that's
these
about
lights
it.
staring,
Yeah.
and like people
all
chatting.
these
and us be like,
It's
"Hey, what are
kind
you
of
doing?
nice.
What are you doing now?"
I like it. I thought it'd be a little hard, but it's kind of nice because you use two different parts of your brain.
Yeah. John was just wondering if you used keyboard. I noticed you are using keyboard shortcuts, but you're also using the menu.
Oh yeah, I'm horrible. Oh yeah, what is?
He's like,
Is that
are you using the mouse for their benefit so they can see you?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I do. It depends on what the shortcut is, but it's just muscle memory. So I think originally when I started, I didn't know some of the shortcuts, and now I know them. But my muscle memory is just to go to the menu, so I don't think about it. A lot of designers say that when they watch me work, they're like, there's a shortcut for that, right? I'm like, I do, but
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's helpful for you guys, right?
Yeah, that's why.
I'm thinking of you actually.
it.
Yeah, that's why.
I like it.
For your benefit. Do you use a Wacom? No. I always. You know what I'm obsessed with, and this is a shout out to you, is the Adobe Capture. That kind of changed my life. I love it.
You hear that? You hear that, Capture team?
Slow clap for the clap for the Adobe
Capture.
I found out. I think I watched a live thing and I saw someone do that. Or y'all did. It was the girl who did the desert stuff. Y'all did a nice video about it.
Jing.
Shauna X.
Shauna.
Yes,
Oh,
and
Shauna.
I had no idea that existed, and I use it all the time. Yeah, I might use it today, but I just draw. You draw. If you don't know, it's an app. Download it.
Yeah.
And you draw. You can draw whatever, and then take a picture of it in Adobe Capture, and it sends it straight to Illustrator as a vector. Life changing. Like better than a scan.
And better than.
If you want to show it.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's a great idea.
It's a good idea.
So yeah, it is awesome.
It really is. How long has that been out? Am I late in the game? I just found out about a couple months ago.
Oh yeah. I'd say 2 years.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. It's all good, but it certainly makes things super easy.
I just love that it sends it straight to Illustrator already open.
All right, Lindsay does a shout out as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay, good to see you. I'm following her on Instagram. She's a fantastic artist.
Love, cat. Yeah, good. Everybody's loving it. I do want a tutorial because sometimes it strips away some of the nuances, and I've been experimenting with how to capture most of it, like get all of the little details, because sometimes it strips it. It's way better. I mean, it does a good job, but I don't know how I can tweak that. His nose is looking weird.
You got it. I understand.
Are we gonna do
I mean, I don't. I want you to I'm trying to not distract you.
No,
from
distract
working.
me.
There were some comments saying they did like the beard. Like, do you make the beard a V? I like how it looks like a cookie. It's all kind of.
Oh yeah.
It's all kind of working.
Why does it change the color? See? I just want it to be the same color.
I think it's
crazy.
See, man, I want to.
I'm sorry.
With
That's gonna be my soapbox while I'm here, because I use it all the time.
Maybe the stroke has an opacity.
But no, I'm like, look, I'm dragging it in there. It's only when I do a brush stroke too, like a.
I'm wondering if it's a color mode. CMYK versus RGB.
The opacity of the stroke.
Or opacity. I notice you are working with, obviously, with color. Do you start out with color?
I do always. I mean, 90% of the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if these are big enough, like bold enough. I'd be curious.
All right. Oh, fantastic. So here I am, Adobe Capture CC, by the way, which has patterns, colors, brushes, looks. So patterns, by the way, super interesting. But shapes, capturing it, like we talked about. Oh, let's get more or less detail. I'm going to get this. Let's just go ahead and click that button right there. And then just click and drag to remove, because that's what it's set to down at the bottom, is deselect, right? And that looks pretty good. Go next. I just want to point out that how smooth it looks, because I think it tends to make things look like even better.
Maybe I do need
It
to do a
smooths it
thinner
out.
pen, because I usually do a Sharpie, but
Oh, by
that
the way,
looks
check this
pretty
already.
good.
On, smoothing on, and smoothing off. It's kind of subtle, but you will start to notice this. And then I can obviously sync to my Creative Cloud library. Easy peasy. Oh yeah. Ooh, looks like we already have somebody submitting something for the Project Felix contest. Okay, so again, in the interface, adobe.com. He tagged it correctly, make it impactful, contest, that's how we're searching this stuff. You can see his work, super cool. Multiple 3D elements in here as well, I like it. This clock, looks like he has a cut through the plane on the bottom, which I can show how to do that. And yeah, looks fantastic. And obviously like rendered. So good job, A. Malashev.
Anton. He's in the chat.
Anton, awesome, buddy. I think that's super cool. First time using it, by the way.
$1,000.
Yeah, oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the prizes. I said enter the contest. You can find out the details, but you can win $1,000. You'll get Creative Cloud. You'll even get mentorship from like one of three my design hero personally, Luke Choice. It's either Luke Choice, Justin Mahler, or Jeanette Liu. That should be correct. Yeah, it's on the site. I'm sure that's correct, but super awesome. Just the mentorship alone, I think, is invaluable. But we're kind of getting a little mentorship from you.
All right. I think I need to separate
Anton.
his face from the... Yeah, that's cool. I need to look him up. I don't know his stuff.
And obviously, somebody asked about the lighting and stuff. You could tweak all that lighting all day long for each one of the faces, so it's more reflective. Remember, you want to create a light from the background source is what you could do. So make sure you click on that. Oh, good.
Yeah, I think I want to separate. Did I already group everything?
Yeah, I like it.
Separate the cookie from his face. Or from his beard.
Oh, you just use the
Pencil?
yeah, but you also cut it.
Yeah. I
use the is that the X-Acto?
It's actually just the eraser. And then
the eraser.
well, the pencil's cool because like when you draw, so for example, it deletes, I mean, it redoes the line.
Redoes the line.
Yeah.
Pro tip, because I think a lot of people don't know that. I didn't.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that you could do that with a complete shape. Draw just a segment of that shape.
And then it kind of like snaps to the new. Sometimes, yeah, depending, it can be really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, how do we want to do him?
So again, if you have an element selected, if you draw over it, as long as you start on the line,
yeah,
and end on that line with that shape.
Exactly. I mean, you can kind of see, like, say we want to reshape his beard. Like
and if that doesn't work, just so you know, that is an option that should be turned on for the pen tool.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's usually turned on, but if it doesn't work, it's because just double click on the tool and you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay. What? I'm just not sure what I want to do.
So hopefully that's clear, Helen. She was asking.
Let's just, so sometimes I'll experiment with white to see how it's looking separated. Oh, I'm getting nervous now.
Yeah. I mean, I like, you know.
I'm trying to do it like my sketch where it's separate.
Oh.
With like where it looks like a cookie bit into it, but then the cookie bites are making his beard.
So you'd have to make it kind of like jagged on top.
Do I want to do that? Yeah, maybe I'll take his mouth, his other mouth, so we keep some of it.
just love, I must say, the pencil...
It's underrated.
Yeah.
People, like, because, you know, people don't think to draw with a mouse, but if you don't have a Wacom tablet. But if you get used to it, I think it's cool.
No.
Like this. But see, sometimes it doesn't work. You have to, like, follow the line.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of the pencil. And, of course, the pen, but...
Yeah, actually,
pen tool's
I'm
learning
gonna do
curve's a little more steep. What a beautiful job, William says. Thanks, William.
Thanks,
You're all right, buddy. So Tempo Arts asks if I'm a designer. Can someone tell me if I'm good? I think you're good enough, buddy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's awesome. If you want feedback on something specific, there is the button. We can review your portfolio. So let me just switch over. Okay. Basically, there's a button if you're on AdobeLive.com. You could just submit us a link to your portfolio, and we'll check it out. You know?
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
Of course you're good, man. It's hard to compare yourself to others, but like compare yourself to like last week. Did you get better, like as a designer or artist? You know,
Preach.
like what did you learn? You know, it's hard. We're comparing you. You've had plenty of years of experience.
Oh man, if you see some of my beginning stuff, you know, I was cleaning out my hard drive, right? So I was going through all my schoolwork. It's just horrifying.
Oh, and that's what you want to see. You have to be able to look back at your old stuff, and you should say that,
right?
If you look back and you're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, have you grown? I don't know.
It makes me feel really good. When it's amazing just doing something. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but doing something every day, you get better.
That's been my goal lately, is just learn something new every day.
Really? Yeah. I love that.
I'm not saying it will always happen, but like so much you just get stuck into doing things certain ways. Like, let me do something new and let me just get better day by day. And even just having this on, that's why I love we do these Adobe Live sessions. Little things, whether it's the pencil, whatever, that you just pick up because you have this on. Oh, Tempo Arts is better than I am. Just turned 13. Sweet, dude. I love it.
Keep in mind.
Keep in mind. Just totally. We love you, man. So Ryan, like we've done concerning brushes. Where do you get the brushes? The brushes come from the brushes menu.
Yep. I mean, I have a bunch of fancy brushes, but just like when I'm starting out, I try and not get too bogged down with too many special things. You can do a lot with the basics.
Yeah.
And then obviously refine. I mean, I call this like, you know, concepting phase, exploring, getting rough ideas going, and then once you even like the concept, going back and trying on different brushes and refining. Let's see.
And I will just to answer that question. There we go. I'll just switch over to me real fast just to show you where it is without interrupting Kelly. But brushes menu, go to that little flyout menu, and then you can see all of these. Did you get them from here somewhere? At least that
so go to, wait, yours is different. Hold on. Brushes,
artistic,
and then the
chalk,
arrows, open brush
charcoal,
library.
Pencil.
Oh, you're on it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. So, and this is, in so many of these little flyout menus, is like loaded with stuff that people don't realize are even there. And then you can make some, because I've made a couple. Here's one. Let's just turn on a layer. There's like a candy brush that I made, which is kind of fun. So that's an artistic brush, for instance. And there's even this one that has multiple borders. So this might look good for some sort of lockup, like if we're gonna do a rectangle. This is a decorative brush, and you can have different elements in all the different corners. So a lot you can do. I'm switching back to you, Kelly.
Oh no. Alright, I'm just taking inventory of what I'm liking and what I'm not liking. what I want to spend more time on. So I still like his original furry face. Like, he's getting a little bit too big over here.
Yeah.
So let's scale back, see what we've made. Wow, look at all of it.
We've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work. I've been watching.
My artboard, it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. All right, so we have this little cookie element, which is fun. We have, I like where he's going. He could be really nice on the packaging. You know, that has a lot of that brand equity. He's familiar, but he's tweaked. The brown will be a nice neutral color against the pop of all of our flavor colors. So, you know.
You just made that circle a little larger.
I did.
Okay.
And then, what else do we like? I mean, it's nice. We'll just keep the plain text version of something just to have it with the reversed out. Or without the, what are those little things called? Inverse? The little...
the spaces in between the letters.
They have like a fancy name.
I know.
Let's ask.
Who knows? Who knows the name of the little spaces like in the A, in an E? Oh, speaking of brushes, Kyle T. Webster, good to see you, buddy. In the house. And actually, Kyle's going to be here next week for a little project we have going on with him.
Awesome. What are y'all doing?
In the same studio, other side. We're going to interview him. We're going to try to extract as much from his brain as we can.
Okay. So we were here and now we're here. I feel pretty good about where it's going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's all.
Somebody's asked, like, would you use Illustrator over Photoshop?
Oh, Illustrator all day. Illustrator is like my best friend. I probably use it for things I shouldn't, but it's just so handy and quick, and I like that you can scoot around in it. I don't like how Photoshop locks you in, although I get why. It's, you know.
Yeah. I see that all the time. Like, if we open up one of your Illustrator files, you're gonna have like stuff all over, on the actual like artboard, pasteboard, or off the pasteboard. That's so typical of any Illustrator files, like all this stuff.
Yeah, it's like the version of your desk, right?
Yeah.
I love it. And when y'all introduce multiple artboards, then I never have to use anything else. That changed my life. Okay. Let's see. Let's go visit back to our mood board and see what else we want to explore and maybe start laying it into the packaging.
Ooh, you win. Sorry. Anton wins. Not only was the first to submit something, but it's called a counter.
The what?
The inside portion
yes,
is
thank
the counter.
you, Adam.
The counter space, if you will. The counter space.
I feel like if the cookie is chocolate, then the caveman will blend in. Yeah, no, for sure, Helen. We're going to do a lot of contrast with... Photoshop has artboards too? Oh, wow.
It's not quite the same experience, but I mean, it's... Yeah. And plus you're working vector here. It's really vector or raster.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start bringing this into the die line and start seeing... Sweet. Oh, I pasted in the die line. Start seeing how this is going to lay out and experiment with that. I'm being messy.
The die line, huh?
The die line. How do y'all feel about the orange in him? I don't know if I'm loving it. Oh, we have to reverse this out. Or Pathfinder it.
Can I show you something else?
Yes.
Do you mind?
No. Show me.
I mean, one way of doing this is, are these just separate shapes?
Yep.
So, have you used this tool, Shape Builder?
I haven't. I've been meaning to look at all the videos.
You just click and drag to connect them.
It's kind of like merge?
Yeah, it does the equivalent of the Pathfinder. So, let's just select all, just do that. Oh, you have something interesting going on, but see how it's like highlights?
Yeah.
And I'm dragging over now that's pretty complex.
That's the thing.
But it's joining those together.
Right. When you put textures on stuff. Okay.
I just exited out.
It gets, sometimes I don't add the textures till the very end because it's a lot for it to read. And it just makes things slow. But okay. let's do it.
Cal-T Webster's installing Project Felix. Awesome.
Let's see.
Are you looking for brushes in it, Kyle? Just joking. You can make some brushes for that. Just joking.
First. Oh no, we don't want that.
Helen loves the orange. Good to hear.
Okay.
Orange is a happy color, she says.
Alright, I'm making a mess. But then you get all these yummy little pieces that look super real.
Yeah, that actually...
Right?
I know you totally wanted those pieces there.
Exactly.
That's why you did it on purpose.
Of course.
Cool. I like how you guys use shortcuts. I like it. So Shift M if you wanted to switch to the shape builder.
Okay, I don't even remember what we were doing. Alright. Okay, she likes the orange. Let's just bring him in and see how he does. Yeah. Like, look, he already looks super just fun and prominent on the thing, on the package. So this is the front panel. How big is this? I actually haven't seen them in real life. We're talking... Where's my size? Why isn't it up here? Is that a view?
What are you doing?
You know how when you click on a shape you can see the size, the dimensions?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that? Why did it disappear?
Click on transform. Transform panel will have that info if that helps. And the reason that is happening, by the way,
is
why
is that happening? Because it's too small.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, I've never not seen it on my big iMac. Can I drag it into the menu?
Let me explore that.
This is not to size unless it's really 3 inches. Maybe.
I'm wondering if you can customize the options bar, which I kind of doubt, but it's all in
I
the
didn't know if you
transform
could
panel.
drag it in, like how you can do other things, like drag these in and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
But either way, thank you for telling me. Okay, do we want to do the alpine flavor? I don't know. I think I might have had enough blue. What else do we have? Green, rainforest.
I'm just reading comments.
I know, I'm curious.
So somebody's asking us to do a shout out to Kelsey Dollier. Calm down. Sure, why not? We got Bruce Almighty quotes.
What did Helen
right
learn?
now.
She learned one more thing. Oh, about the toolbar. Okay.
Yeah. And that will throw you off, Ryan. As you know, Ryan, what's up, buddy? Like, that'll throw you off. If it's smaller, you're like, where'd my stuff... That's happened in presentations for me. Like, where'd it go? It
right? Well, because I don't work on my laptop ever, and so I'm not familiar. You know, you get in you're the zone of things, and you're like, wait, what?
All right.
Okay, so just...
Thank you, Tempo Arts, for submitting your portfolio, buddy. He's the 13-year-old wondering... Yeah, we'll have to check that out. But feel free. Send us something our way. Hashtag Adobe Live. We can check out your portfolio. Also, there's the contest, as Kyle pointed out, because he's interested after seeing Project Felix demoed last year at Max. We're now at Beta 3, so we want to get your feedback because it's made for you guys. If it's not helping you, we're not doing things right. We want it to be your product at the end of the day. Is what we're looking at. Nate Galloway, hello, buddy. I think we're doing quite well.
I think so.
Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Just experimenting.
Playing with colors, so like, because you had to select a flavor at this point.
Yeah, well, Alpine is just the file that I have in my artboard, so I thought I might as well stay consistent with that. And so, you know, she has the two-tone going on, and I don't know if I love that. And so I was just kind of... It's amazing what you can tell just by like dragging color blocks up and where things go and where we want to put the flavor name. And so I'm just kind of bopping around, checking things out, where I want to take him.
Just bop it. We're just bopping around. Just gonna bop around, and we'll throw a little bit of this in there. which I personally love the combo of brown and teal.
I know. I'm
sorry.
I had
is
to
it too played out?
No, I had to tell myself no more teal, Kelly. Like my whole portfolio is like blue, 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 teal. I love water. I don't know.
Wow.
So ironically, I picked blue, but I was tried to pull in the green, and then I said no. All right. So let's talk about flavors. So this is called Alpine. If we were the flavor, where would we put it? And another thing with her flavors is Alpine, you don't know what that is. Well, this is a good question for people, actually. Literal flavors versus fun, like kitschy flavors, then they have a descriptor. So she did a pretty good hierarchy where it's like brand, product name, and then product description, hazelnut and carob. But we were talking about this with the client, kind of like what's better to have, just call it hazelnut and carob, or kind of that whole discussion. And we went back and forth. I think that the names are kind of fun because I just want to buy an alpine cookie or a rainforest cookie because it sounds romantic and really exotic. But then I'm like, ooh, hazelnut and carob. I don't know. Is there any thoughts?
Discuss.
Yeah, regular.
Should we have I don't know, just a not literal name?
Right. So like
literal.
Exactly. Rainforest, Mayan, New World. I mean, would you be like, what the heck is that?
I want both. I want to have alpine, hazelnut, and carob. What does that mean? I don't even know.
Is that feedback or is that you?
No, that's just me talking trash.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I want it to just be hazelnut and carob. Like I like the literalness. I think we're in a day and age where like the honesty and packaging.
Right.
Like let's get rid of the fluff. It doesn't need fluff words and fluff. It's like honest packaging.
Right.
Is where I'm leaning.
Right.
It's who's to say? I don't know if it's as fun.
Yeah, it's curious. What else have we said?
So yeah, Don, we're kind of working on the color scheme, working on multiple things. Sure, we're all over the place and we're not even worried about how this is organized right now. It doesn't matter. So, Serendipity Pandas, love it. Likes the creative names. Zach likes both. Antoine likes the non-literal.
Okay.
Zach brings up good points. He did exactly what you just did is what he said. Non-literal name large, literal name below.
Right? I think
it has
so.
to be locked up at least.
Yeah, so it's just right together because now that's a little separate, and I think people could miss over what the yummy, unique things. I mean, they're probably paying a lot for hazelnuts, and it might get lost.
Yeah.
Hazelnuts are expensive. Okay. So back to the importance of just color banding on shelf and what it can do. Just experimenting. I kind of like the white. Not that we'll leave it, but
Velara, yes, I do. I went to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and you remember.
She's recognizing you?
Yeah, I would love to visit Riyadh again. We did an Adobe day there, and I'm so honored and happy that you remember that because it's super cool. One of my favorite experiences.
That is cool.
And that's something you also need to think about is as you start crossing cultural lines, if that's going to happen with the product, what are the implications of your packaging?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
whole other.
When we were going into Canada with the French speaking and translating and what things mean, and it's interesting. And then you typeset everything perfectly to fit in English, and then you do the French translation, and you're like, dang it, and it's like running off.
Like German, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle says the white looks super crisp if we're talking about color. He likes the... And it does. It makes it look fresh and clean and just easy. Yeah. It's so much easier on the eyes right now.
Right? So right now, it's the hierarchy. It's a little competing, right? I mean, they're kind of the same size. But I kind of love his beard going over the flood. Like, historically, people kind of go up top with the logo, and then put this, like, further down. But
yeah, if you're talking read order.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think he's big enough. That's
he's so prominent,
right?
You could get away with it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do some experimenting.
That's a good point. Like Sisse says, I just have to read this. Cave women would go nuts when when they see a caveman with those cookies. I don't know sure what that means.
What?
I like that they use go nuts.
Oh,
puns.
I know that. That's a business actually. They have great branding.
Oh, go nuts.
Go nuts.
Oh, that's good.
I think the arch is tired, eh? What do we think? Arch. I like it straight because there's already arch and stuff going on in his beard. Right? Yeah. I think so.
There are artboards in Photoshop. You asked about this, right? So
I
I'll just
did.
switch over
Yeah.
and just show it to somebody else is
Please show
asking.
me.
First of all, this is a render that I did in Project Felix because I'm going to render out a PSD.
Wow.
This isn't even that great. I mean, there's more I can do with it.
Okay.
But literally, I've just went to this layers flyout menu right over here. Click, and then I can create new artboard. Right, so once I do that, boom, that's my new artboard, hitting enter. This is the size, because that's how big it is, but I can make as many of these as I want. I can hit command. I can actually, this is a pro thing, I can hold down the alt key and click, and I can duplicate that, so I can have 2 different designs and add to this as much as I want. And
How
see what
long
it's
has
doing
this
over
existed?
here? Maybe about like 2 years.
Okay.
So you could see them off to the side. Obviously I duplicated them, it's all the same names, but they're all kind of like nested and all that good stuff.
That's cool.
Now still, it's not like Illustrator, because if I draw something, you know this, I'm going to draw a black rectangle, right?
Right.
It doesn't show anything off the pasteboard, if you will.
Right.
or
Which, I
artboard.
mean, it makes sense for Photoshop, but artboards, I did not know that.
And I can drag this. This is what I like. If I want this rectangle to be duplicated down in the next artboard, or actually I should duplicate it. Oops. Well, anyways, if I drag it down, it's going to put it in the exact same spot as I drag it from artboard to artboard,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
I like. So anyway, switching back over to you.
Good to know. So I really like the cookie bites. So I'm going to see what that looks like in his beard and if that works. You know what I mean? Let's see. We want his mouth over it.
Ooh, interesting.
Right?
So, Tempo Arts, the 13-year-old, if you don't mind me saying that, good suggestion about like putting, and this is getting into details, but like if there was a shadow below, or if there was a more, even the transition of a shadow down here for a cookie, was just a thought.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could, there's ways to make it look like beard transition into a cookie, and one of those might be just a little flat shadow, which is a good
Totally.
suggestion.
Yeah, thank you.
Terry, yes, Terry White's in the house. He's manning the controls immediately to my left. And so just a time check, we have about 40 minutes.
Cool.
T. White will be up with our good friends, what is it, Farm Design. Aaron and Christine are going to be tackling another project, which is also fun, but might not get you as hungry. We're working on the project that is getting us hungry.
Cookies for breakfast? Anyone?
Cookies for breakfast. Look at us. I'm so proud of us. They're not even open. Look at that. I'm starving here is what I'm saying.
Oh, we lost his face. What's happening? See, then people can't see. Alright, the cookie had a texture on it, and it didn't match him, so I'm making a new one.
That's cool. Somebody asked about the layers panel, and yeah, you not even sweating it.
Oh, no.
I love it.
I mean,
So
only
cool.
for dye line. Like, in terms of working, I just work on one layer, but obviously when I'm making my mechanical print files, if it's foil, I clean it up and stuff. But the dye line, I put on a layer and I lock it. But I do a lot of just locking and unlocking, because it doesn't confuse me. All right, we're essentially recreating. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, so Anthony, good question. Just to do a quick recap. So Caveman Cookies is a brand that exists out there today. It was purchased by Paleo. Was it purchased?
Mm-hmm.
Purchased
Acquired
by Paleo. What's the
Paleo Nola.
Paleo Nola, which has a different brand. So it's like taking this fresh Paleo Nola brand and Caveman Cookies, this old packaging, and tying it together, making something fresh. That's kind of the goal. And yeah, we only started like an hour ago, so we're looking good.
It's funny when you want to make something look messy and you can't. It just looks like an atom. That's when I get the pencil tool out and start drawing.
And what you could do with that even is, did you know how you can adjust the fidelity of the pencil?
What do you mean fidelity?
Like how smooth or rough it draws.
Oh.
You ready for this?
Yeah. Okay.
Double click on the pencil. So if you take it to accurate, it'll give you even rougher, which might really...
You mean
it'll make
rougher,
it
more
precise. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
But essentially it...
But
I don't know.
I see what you're saying now. Got it. That's
I think
good.
it's like accurate to like awesome, because like
Right.
everybody wants to draw smooth. So basically, if you dragged it,
Yeah,
if it was on
experiment.
accurate, it's kind of like how the pencil used to work. It was almost too
accurate.
Too accurate.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
But
So
let's see. Wait, so I want to take these away. What,
nothing.
I don't really get the cookie being a beard thing, maybe. So. Yeah, is that weird? It's a good point. Sometimes I get these ideas and then you show it to someone who's not close to it and they're like, wait, what?
No, that's good. That's why we're so happy to have you guys here. Yeah, cookies in your beard.
I mean,
not so much. Is it a bad
is
thing?
It weird?
I like the transition. I dig it, but I love. That's why we're here. So
Exactly.
get everybody's thoughts.
Send thoughts.
I love it.
Who doesn't want cookies in your beard?
Yadira, just double click on the pencil tool, and that'll give you the options, and that will work for a lot of tools in Illustrator. Okay, the legend. Do you have any tips on how to make your designs more complex?
More complex.
I would, I don't know if you're talking about
why?
adding more detail to your work. That's something to take a look at. If that's what you mean, that's what I do. Is like if you take even something as simple as a shadow, is it a gradient shadow? Is it a flat shadow? Is it a shadow that's made up of lines? And I think that's kind of cool. Like adding some shading with like a pattern might be a cool way to approach your design if you're looking at making it more complex or detailed.
Texture is a good one. Adds depth.
Yeah,
All right.
texture is good.
This is a little weird. I'll tweak the crumbs, but I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah.
Kind of liking it. So just in terms of a general, isn't it funny when you make something, you zoom out and then you look at your other thing and you're like, do we need to work on this transition of the circle to his beard?
Yeah, I think it should be a little bit more organic. Oh, that looks better.
Right?
Wow.
These are looking like little,
I
don't want to say.
They almost look like puzzle pieces. They're
Is
almost
it
too
too
perfect.
perfect?
Like I just want them to be just more messy. But who am I? Am I this guy?
No, I like it. Yeah, maybe because we messed with the accurate tool, I'm like, why is this not drawing well? Let's see.
Sorry.
No, it's good to kind of know. Obviously. What is it? Oh, there's only like 5 things. Okay. Well, won't leave a crumb right now. All right. Okay, what else could be cool? Let's see. So do we like the left or the right so far, people? Do we like bites out or whole beard? Let's see what they say.
Yeah.
What do you like?
I know my opinion.
What's your opinion?
I have an opinion about
Which
things.
one?
I like the ones with the bites taken out because it will read as a cookie. So the thing is, you need to make sure it reads as a cookie.
Yeah.
So I think you need some element in there that reads as yes cookie, yes beard, but also cookie.
Okay.
So whatever element that is,
Right.
you know. But I love I love how clean it is. That's my overall thought is.
Yeah, and we'll add more. So let's take him away.
Good call, Angela. Yeah, cookie crumbs are jagged.
Like with the bites.
They're digging the left. Let's see, left.
Oh, everyone. No one's on the
Sissy
right.
likes bites out.
Okay,
bites.
sweet.
Bites. Yeah, everybody's saying left.
Okay, well then let's just say goodbye to this guy. Why are you saying left?
And then Kay the Legend's like, why are you saying left? Everybody likes the bites, though.
Okay, cool.
I think it's because they're hungry. I get it. I'm hungry, too. I want some bites out of the cookie, too. All of these. All 6 of them.
So the next thing we could do is start, if we go back to your mood board, something about the ingredients. I guess I didn't pull any ingredients, but in my head, I want to show... Let's go back to the original elements. Where is it? So they had some little like textures and some ingredients. Definitely want to incorporate that. This kind of stuff around it. So I think I might just start drawing.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
I love hearing all this live feedback. I need this all the time. I would leave the crumbs out and just make the other guy. Yeah, I think you're right. Looks untidy.
And what if... Yeah, this is so interesting.
What if the font is colored like the skin? Oh, yeah.
Anita wants some coffee for the cookie or milk. Oh, sure. That may be fun elements to draw in or whatever it may be. What if the font's colored like the skin? It's cool.
Interesting. But the thing with my big thing is you want the name of the logo to be different.
Yeah.
So it pops out. But
yeah, so Nate, just so you know, actually you should be able to scrub back. Actually, let me just double check. Depends on where you are. But essentially, this is being recorded. That's where we started, is with some mood boards. And I like how you keep on, you know, sort of like referencing it, because you don't want to forget, like, this is the cool stuff that I like.
Right.
You know?
When it just jogs your memory, like, what was I thinking again? Because I think designing is switching a lot between focusing in and focusing out. Like, you want to go in and refine and do details, but then you want to go back and say, are we on point? What's the whole point? You know, are we... Like you said, does this even read cookie? Like, sometimes you can be like, oh, I'm so into the beard, and then you zoom out and you're like, wait, we're making cookie packaging. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. See, sometimes the pencil tool doesn't work like that. It's a little weird, but we'll tweak it.
I'm actually going to do some... Something like that, I think. You know, do I need to do
I think it's time to draw.
There, go for it.
All right.
While you're working on
what ingredients
that.
do I need? What is in here? Hazelnut and carob. Okay.
This is so good. So that's the packaging. Caveman cookies. You guys could do a search on that. You can draw. We could switch to me real fast, actually, because this is what I would also do, because I'm like you. I don't mean to interrupt you. You do your thing.
Perfect. You're great.
Okay. But essentially, you know, I need to remember what like cookies look like, or what have other people come up with. So I'll just jump into my library panel in Illustrator or Photoshop, and I'll just search Adobe stock. This is an easy way to go like cookies, or even cookie, because we want one. Adjust the vectors, so I can kind of get an idea of what people are putting together out there. Like,
that's cool.
The shading and stuff. like this one. Okay, so I probably want to save this preview, right, to my current library, because that's just an example of how somebody executed a byte taken out of it. You know how you get so close on something and you're like, what does this look like?
Yes.
What does a beard look like? Or you're working on text. You guys ever work on text and like spend so much time on doing this like type lockup and then you realize you misspelled something? You've been playing with it all day long.
Gosh.
And somebody's like, you know, you spelled that wrong. Because as a designer, they're all shapes. You don't even see them as words after a while.
Right? Thank you. I'm like, my job's designing, not spelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we know what carob is? It's chocolate, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually know where carob comes from.
I thought it was just... I know, I'm like, how does it differ from chocolate?
Oh, here we go. Oh, this is I like this one too. I'm collecting resources of cookies. And these are vectors that I'm searching on, as you can tell, because that's all I need right now. Oh, even 3D. I'm going to have to search on that later. Oh, look what the cat drag did. What do I look like? Oh, what? Did you get some? Is that for me? Really? Haha. All right, so this is a little plug for our next. You can come up here. Guess. Farm design in the house. Aaron, like, dude, we're supposed to be...
Hovering art director overboard.
Uh-oh.
Oh, darn.
Coffee caddy.
Oh,
For you?
Oh, you're the best. This is backwards. I'm supposed to be bringing you coffee, and look what you did. So nonetheless, we have farm design coming in. Aaron and Christine are sitting right across from me. And then we have about 25 minutes before you guys are up. Yeah? That sounds good to me.
Welcome.
Yeah. All right. Switching back, taking a look. I will say one issue with even these cookies is these are way too uniform in size for me. Mm-hmm. It's not hardly natural. In fact, what would serve us well? Taking a cookie, biting out of it, setting it down, doing a scan.
Let's do it.
Oh,
that's your
I
job.
just want a reason to like open up these cookies and take a bite out of it. Let's be honest. Yes, thank you so much, Tim. Super excited about your guys' project as well. So let's do that without
making a mess.
Yeah, without making a mess. I will do that. You're drawing. And just to even show some things on the screen and just kind of do some shout outs. Send us your portfolio, review those in about 15 minutes. And then also check out Project Felix. We want your feedback. Here's Project Felix. First of all, everything that I've downloaded is now in Project Felix. So I have the libraries panel in Project Felix. So this is brand new. So this is beta 3. And I can use those as textures or as backgrounds. But again, Project Felix, if you create something in here, send it our way. Enter the contest essentially to win, what, $1,000? I don't know. Creative Cloud? Sure. Mentoring session from like one of 3 pros, which is super awesome. But feel free, it's super easy to use. I can grab any one of these elements. Since we're talking about packaging a lot, I can drop in packaging right here and change the textures of it and everything. So first of all, that's quite large. Shrink it down, zoop. And once we're in here, let's just make sure create light from image right down there. And we are indoors. Actually, I'm going to click outdoors because I have a sneaking suspicion that indoors might be darker. Maybe, maybe not. But I can always change that. Because if I go back in, click on it, I can try indoors. But either way, it sort of senses where the light is coming from and then maps it, you know, to that image. And then I can add materials and all sorts of other fun things. So you guys get the idea. That's how it works roughly, and then I can render it out. I can talk about a ton of new things in it, by the way. As we go along, we're going to be here for 3 days. We'll get into some additional things like saving your views and all that fun stuff.
Okay.
All right.
I got enough to start with. So.
Oh, good. Were you drawing? Oh, this is fun.
Oh wait, where's
I don't even know where do I switch?
We're gonna do
were you
the,
drawing hazelnuts?
I'm drawing hazelnuts and stylized carobs.
Hazelnuts.
And then we're gonna use Adobe Capture because it's so fun. And it's on the hotel paper, so might get a little Marriott logo in there. Okay.
It's delicious.
Is it? But is it paleo? Is it the yogi?
Get this out of here.
Only paleo.
No crumbs.
Now.
I don't leave no crumb behind here. There's
Wait, we
no
need to scan in our
crumbs.
crumbs. That's
I
collateral.
know, that's what I'm
an
trying
asset.
to do.
Okay.
All right, we are switching over. Hold on one second. So here's your beautiful illustrations that you painstakingly spent hours on.
Right? I'm all about just the fast iterating. And then we're totally going to get the Marriott in, and I love it.
Using Adobe Capture, as you can tell.
Yep.
Oh,
And then...
there it is. You're doing great.
Let's see. Do we want the smoothing on or off? Let's put it on. And then send it to Illustrator. You can see all my other ones. See, the one that you liked on my website, I just did that one, like right before I came. And all the sketches are still in there.
Oh, nice.
Right? Look at all
Oh, I
these.
like all this.
Zapatistas, all that. All kinds of stuff.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, I'm going to scan one more. So we have options.
So the great thing is, like, this is going into your
Library.
Which you could even share with others.
Yeah,
if you
and then
wanted to.
we could be like, hey, I'm sending over the sketch. Will you work on the pattern for me? And then, ding.
Do you have somebody that just does, hey, I wish I...
Yeah, right? I think so. Okay, why isn't it coming up though? It usually does.
And just make sure, your Adobe ID is the same, logged in both places, has the same Adobe ID. And here, let me go up to the help menu. Let's switch over just to your screen.
Yeah, just,
Help
again,
at the top.
it always works, but I just set up my laptop.
Does that look right?
Yep.
And then... libraries, boop.
Oh, there we go.
And then these are your stock templates, so it might hide back here.
Oh, it was hiding maybe because my screen's small. Because usually it just opens it up in it, but
Yeah, sometimes it will, like if you're in Photoshop or something, yeah, it will pop open the library, but it could be nestled.
Okay, cool. So let's see what we have here.
I wish we could give away cookies. I wish there was a way for me to just like, hey, Paulina, here's a cookie. And then your DVD-ROM opens up and there's a cookie there. Is that a thing? Most people are like, what's a DVD-ROM? That would be awesome. Most people think they're just cup holders. Oh, I thought that was a cup holder. No, it's a DVD-ROM. DVD drive. A DVD drive that comes out.
So we shouldn't scan in the Marriott.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not.
This session's sponsored by Marriott.
Very
apparently.
important. All right, so...
Can I steal a piece of paper?
Yes. So sometimes if I don't want to color them all in, I'll just fake do it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Jeanette, I'm so glad you're here. Jeanette Matthews works on the Project Felix team. She does a lot of videos on YouTube, so if you want to learn some quick tips about Project Felix, she does a lot of those, and super smart, wonderful person. Yeah, so you'll output PSDs. So you're really in Felix creating that stuff. It'll give you all those layers.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see this. I'm wondering if I should mix the hazelnuts with the triangles or not. We'll see.
So in the triangles are just elements, just design elements that you want to add?
Yeah, well, so I mean, I don't know if I buy carob pieces and they come in little triangles. carob, it's chocolate. It's one of those things that can come in lots of different shapes. But I also like the little triangles from his little outfit. But just something that reads chocolate chunk that's a little interesting. Maybe a little geometric. Okay, so let's make some patterns.
Good job spacing that out so well too. Like
the pattern.
Just even the spacing between the various objects is
thanks.
Looking good.
Okay. Another thing I love is the pattern maker tool. I mean, already it's like did all the work for me. So I kind of think, I don't know if I want it full. I kind of want it scattered.
Man, nothing gets by these people, by the way.
Oh, what do they say?
Vivek's like, hey, Paul, you're at 18% power on your laptop. Excuse me. Adobe Scan so basically that you'd use Adobe Scan for text. So there's an OCR reader will convert it to actual text that you actually take a picture of, converts it to text, which is what makes it fantastic. Capture is for fancy designers like us who like to capture things like cookies with a bite taken out of them.
I can't wait. Let's just see.
All right. You can deselect parts. All right. Next, we'll move right along. All right, so say there's no auto trace setting. What auto trace setting is best for in Illustrator for complex images? Like literally go down, you're going to have a choice between like black and white, silhouette, 16 colors. Obviously, the more vectors added, it's going to be a lot more complex. That's a big problem with it. So another great thing that we could do, even with our libraries, is also collaborate. So you could share your library with me, collaborate with me on your library, and then I can drop the cookie in there, and then you'll have it on your desktop.
And it'll just populate like.
Yep.
We'll get on that then.
Let's get on that, huh? All right, I better hurry. I've got 16% battery left. I swear, I don't think the power strip is working down below or something.
Yeah, what am I?
Or maybe it's not turned on.
Do you want some of mine? Here, I'm all. No,
I'm a different.
Right. I'm old.
Yeah, it's.
I'll do it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you, sir. Awesome.
So I know how we talked about adding in a scene if we go back to the mood board.
Oh, thank you so much.
But I think maybe it's taking away. It's like crazy if you just. It's just I started drawing a mountain or something, and it takes away so much from the simplicity of it. But.
Thank you, Terry.
So I don't know if I'll do it, because what if we illustrated each of the names, like how they had his outfits? What if it was more of a scene to tie into the nature element of paleonola and ingredients made from nature? Could be cool, but it could be busy. So maybe that's something we'll explore tomorrow, is how clean we want it to go, how illustrated we want it to go. But it will appeal to kids if it has a scene on it. That's for sure, but it might be clouded.
Yeah, that's a good point, and
right?
that's what I think tends to happen as a designer. Is you're working on something, and then things get really they start to get really complex, and you start to decide what can I add, what needs to be removed, and sometimes you end up sort of going full circle.
Yep.
Which is a super nice place to be.
Yeah, and then you usually end up using those elements for something besides packaging, because packaging. Doing the shelf test is something I think designers don't practice enough of doing, is printing it out to size and backing up. And almost every time it's my most simple version. But then I have all these yummy elements I've made for Instagram or the website or something. So it's not all, it doesn't all go to waste. But maybe you just don't put it on the postage stamp because it's lost, Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's great.
But you can build it out, make fun web sliders online or something with the shapes. But, yeah.
Hey, tambourinist, first time here, so welcome, my friends. I want to know who else it's their first time watching Adobe Live. We hold them every other week. We have video, if I'm not mistaken, coming up in a couple weeks. And oh no, sorry, illustration coming up in 2 weeks. And then in another 4 weeks, 2 weeks after that, we have video. So we kind of change up the subject matter, but it's basically every other week. So join us, and man, thanks for being here. We got Aaron and Christine up next. We have about 10 minutes.
Cool. Should I just closing thoughts or anything?
You making it happen.
What's that? I'm speaking about dialing in and dialing out. I remember grain free was something that we need to put high in the hierarchy. How it is on Paleonola, so definitely want to put that in somehow. And I'm thinking of making like a seal or a badge or something that either hangs down or up top that becomes a nice little icon for the grain free.
I like it.
Right?
That's a good idea.
I'll work on that.
That is a good idea. If people want to follow you on social media, like you use Twitter or?
I don't tweet. I'm all about the Instagram. It's KT1123, but I don't have a ton of work on there because it's mostly outdoorsy stuff. But I do post some work. I post a lot of work on the stories when I'm working at my desk. I'll just zoom in and take a video. Cool. But yeah, follow me, and especially because I'll be on my trip. And if anybody wants to meet up,
cool. Are you on Twitter at all?
I'm not.
Okay,
not even on Twitter. I'm more a visual person, not into the words, but dribble Instagram.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually just doing a search on Adobe Live, just checking out to see if there are any, if anybody submitted any portfolios. Because again, in the interface on adobelive.com is how you can do that. And yeah, we've had some. All right. While you're working, I'll just review 2 of these, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
please. I dig where that's going.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, totally dig it.
Yeah, let's look at these portfolios.
Yeah. So Kristen Raridan from Greensboro, North Carolina, sent this through, so you could see her various projects, like pretty diverse overall.
Yeah.
We could take the latest one. That's probably our first thought. Is, hey, it's pretty diverse, which is nice. And we can dive into this, presentation. She does print work, which again, totally cool, super clean. Feel free to add any comments.
Yeah. I'm just taking it in what we're looking at and what it is.
Yeah, and we won't, I wish we had some quality time, and we will have portfolio reviews on occasion. I think this is a good case of an exercise in simplicity. Overall things can get really complex, and it's kind of like what we're dealing with here.
Right.
You could add more to it, or do you go a little less? And I personally like how clean this is.
Yeah. Click out. So, yeah. What else? Just
wait for it.
Cool. Book
Driving
design?
forward in reverse. Oh, how fun.
Book design.
Love to do book cover.
Right, me too.
We'll do one more. Let's switch over to one more. We'll go to Madison's. Great photo. Hey, it works. Madison, let's check out yours. Oh, so she used
Seattle.
my portfolio. Seattle in the house. Again, this is using my portfolio, so linked from her Behance portfolio, she
just
turns it into this beautiful, yeah, exactly.
A little parallax scroll.
Yeah, I dig it.
Shade, I like that. Click on the little pink guy while we're looking at.
Okay.
Oh, are we time?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch back to you.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Madison, and sure enough, thank you, Kristen, for sending those through. We'll be reviewing more as we go along. Beautiful. We're wrapping up now, so we've got like a minute. I don't know if you want to...
Yeah, I guess I could give a recap. So essentially, we are redesigning Caveman cookies, which they were here, and we're just simplifying it and giving it a brand refresh, keeping the brand equity of our little Caveman, but simplifying it and headed in the direction of Paleonola, the company that acquired them, and just experimenting in the package.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, guys. More tomorrow, so tune in same time, same place, if you will. Next up, farm design in the house.
Yeah.
See you in a little bit. In a second. Stay on this channel.